Hi, I'm going to do a little video. Got a trim problem. So, let's hold this up. Hopefully, maybe I can explain this. I don't know. So I just did a little crude diagram. So basically on this engine, I verified the problem already, but I know what it is, but I thought I would kind of talk about this. So you got a battery, right? And so you're going to come out of the battery positive, and there's a positive line that goes to your switch up by your console, usually, your shifter. And then you have a switch for up and a switch for down. So when it's up, it's going to go over, and you got two relays. So there's, usually this is like a blue line, and that's a green line. Or maybe like green and white, blue and white. And it'll come to the inside of relay up, right? And so when you send the signal here, it turns the relay on. Right, so then you have a signal that's hot to the relay. Okay, so when it sees signal from there, then it also has a ground, but it sends the signal out to a ground, right? And this one's still got ground. So the way it works is the blue wire, then when it sends the signal out to trim up, this is ground, and then this will be hot. So the motor will trim, it'll turn up or turn down. So when we're in a down position, we're going to hit this line, and we're going to come over to this relay, sending the signal to turn on. Usually it'll click. It's grounded, and it's got its positive. So it has to have main power, signal power. Right? So whenever it turns on, then this one's grounded, right? It's going to ground, and then this one will be positive. So it's kind of basically how it works, and hopefully that makes sense. And so, like on this motor, we got these two relays, right? So we can see this one's blue, so that's our up relay. This is kind of an old relay, but they both work. I've verified it. Then you got a green, so the blue goes out to the motor, green goes out to the motor. Then over here we have our signal wires. So green and white is down, blue and white is up. So that sends a signal to the input side of the relay. Right, here's your green and white, and then here's your blue and white. And you can see you got your hots on both of these over here, and then you got grounds. So one's always grounded, and then the other one is when the relay opens, closes the leads, and allows the signal to pass and go out. So in this case, to diagnose it, if you don't have down, there's basically a few different ways you can swap relays. See if that fixes it. Maybe you got a bad relay. If that doesn't fix it, then we need to figure out if we got signal from the switch. So we can disconnect these, and if you have somebody hit the switch, take a meter, right? And then you're just going to put it on 12 volts, and you're going to put your negative lead to ground, okay? Negative lead to ground. And your positive lead to to whichever one you want to check to see if you got power coming from it. Okay? You can use a test light. Test light's better because you can put it on negative, you stick it in there, and you can see the light light up, right? You know you got power. So I did that, and coming from the switch, I have signal on both lines, so I know that works. So then the next thing to do is pop out your relay. It's hard to do with one hand. Okay. And then we're going to test our hot. It's going to be this guy. We're going to see that we got hot coming in. And then verify we got 12 volts there. Okay, and then you're going to have, I think it's this one or this one. Let's just look. Yeah, you see the two blacks underneath there? I want to verify that both of those are showing ground. Alright, which they are. And then we're going to connect these back together. And we're going to put our lead here. Usually a test light works good because then you can have someone hit the switch and see that the light's coming on or off. You can use your meter, put it on 12 volts, it's going to show 12 volts. But the light is faster, so. Then, if that's still good, you could take, I make a little couple of jumper wires, right? Just little connectors, put it in here, and then just jumper these and see if it works. In my case, it still was not working. Alright. So then, here's our two wires going to the motor. So then, what we can do is this is our signal out to the motor. We can just check to see if there's continuity on that line, which there is on in this particular situation, right? So we make sure, and we do it on both relays, you know, make sure we got what we're supposed to be seeing. So when these are out, right, I'm going to take them out real quick. This is our signal lines going to the motor. So if we take both of these out, right, we're going to take and we're going to put continuity, put it on continuity, right, and I've just got a right wire going straight to ground. I'm going to connect this to here. Go ahead and put our relays back in. Okay. So these two lines that are coming out of the relays, both should have signal to ground. So that's the green one. And that one shows ground as well. Okay. So whenever we have signal on one line, which would be positive, it'll open up. Say we're going down with the green, and this would be hot, and this one would still be ground. Okay? And it is. Right? So, I still got an issue. Right? So I've got a little connector. Just gonna kind of stick it in there. And I'll do it this way. You still hear that. What you can do is if you make a little test wire and have this here, right? So that's going to my green. And then we're just going to touch the hot. Okay, so we still got alright. But put this in the green, the hot, here our continuity. Hear it break and interrupt, that's because it's breaking the ground. Okay? So that works. We know that works, right? So now if I do the opposite of that, and I make this our hot, we still got green connected for continuity. We still got ground. Right? So we put the lead over into this side. See, it's breaking the continuity. Okay. So somehow what's happening is both relays are good. But in the down position, the blue is not getting ground. So like if I take and connect these back, right? So right now I'm going into, say, blue. So it's going up, right? Because the relay's clicking, but we don't have ground down. So if we swap these, yeah, it's just a process of elimination. Right now we're in the green. Still nothing. Okay. If we go into the blue input side, now it's going down. So somehow the ground is being interrupted. And what I suspect is, even though it seems like we have a good ground coming off of the up, I suspect that this ground is has got a problem. So what we can do is, even though it tests good, I can put my test in there and I got continuity, somehow it's not making the ground. And that's what I think my problem is, because obviously this circuit works. This circuit does work on the up because this is ground, but whenever this passes through and sends the ground, or sends the signal over, somehow these are not, I'm not getting the ground, if that makes sense, even though this works. So to verify that, would be to I guess to go ahead, maybe just, you know, not to be a replace artist, but these are my two grounds down here. You see them right there, that bolt, these right here, is to just take, I clean these connections off real good, but I still, it just, I don't have a ground, so probably need to disconnect that, see if I can put another connector on it and see if that fixes our problem. If it doesn't, then, you know, I'll have to just dig a little deeper to try to find out why that's the ground is being interrupted. And like I said, I can swap both of these and it doesn't seem to make a difference. You know, is it the pigtail? Everything seems to be correct. All my readings, you know, when I'm doing a continuity test or checking voltages, all of that reads correctly. You know, the only other thing we can check is just to make sure we're getting good hot signal, but like I said, I've done that as well, and that seems to be fine. So that's what I think is going wrong with it, is that ground is not good. Somehow it's getting interrupted. Or this blue pigtail is somehow got some crosstalk. Anyway, it's just a process of elimination. You know, trying to figure out, you know, why the ground and the up is not still going to ground. Somehow that voltage is causing it to not have the ground, and so the motor doesn't see ground. It might see positive, but there's no ground here. And we could test that theory easily by taking our blue wire, right, and we'll just ground it. Okay. So now that's grounded. Now I've got my little cable. You can't see this, I'm sorry. So now I got my blue wire, which goes out to the motor, right? And then in the down position, I'm just going to connect my little thing to the signal wire here. And we still don't have anything. And there's a reason for that. I've got blue connected to blue, and that's why I had it backwards. So we can hear that we got signal now. So this side of the circuit's working. This side of the signal, the circuit is not working. Right? And we can even test that theory with this side by grounding the green, which we know the green works. We know the green side works. I won't even connect it. So we got up. But when we connect it to green signal line, we don't have anything. So anyway, let me try that and see if I can get it to, go down by adding a different connector and to those ground wires, and see if that fixes it. If it doesn't fix it, then it may be just the pigtail has some sort of crosstalk, and I'll just have to, but again, you can do some things. You can swap like these lines, input side. You can swap the output side and see if they follow, and see if they follow, and see if you can isolate the problem. Thanks for watching.